Hey guys, welcome to the video. In this one here, I'm going to be explaining the benefits and disadvantages of each spec of warrior, as well as what they do. First off, I'm going to start with Fury Warriors. Fury Warriors are manly men with manly men beards, even if you're female like my warrior. I do not play Fury as a main spec, so this is probably not the most optimal Fury spec, but it is good. What Fury Warriors do is they normally go Titan's Grip for PvP, and their main ability is Bloodthirst, but their burst damage comes from Raging Blow. With Mastery currently, Fury Mastery, what it does is Unshackled Fury increases the benefit of abilities that cause or require you to be enraged by 63% with my Mastery at this point. And each point gives you an additional 5.6% additional damage on that. So Raging Blow, stacking Mastery as Titan's Grip, hits with both weapons for 200% plus damage. It bursts insanely hard. Comparing a Fury Warrior to a Prot or Arms Warrior, they're not going to have near as much utility, but they outdamage both. I don't like Fury for PvP, but it's a playstyle thing because I've been blown up in 1 or 2 hits by a Fury Warrior when the stars aligned for him, and he got a Raging Blow crit for over 50k through my 3k resilience. It's not much, but it should be enough to cut down a little bit of that damage. So think about if I was like naked, he'd have fucking destroyed my HP completely. So it's just a playstyle thing. I do not like Fury for PvP, but as I said, it does more burst damage than Arms given the right circumstances, has less utility than both Arms and Prot, and more damage than both. It's a lot more RNG based and doesn't have the utility that the other two do in arenas. Arms Warriors also have a nice manly men beard, but it is not as beardy as the Fury Warriors. But the manly men beard of the Arms Warrior is just so completely filled with awesomeness and discipline of the Arms Warrior being a trained soldier that if the warrior can spin around and slap the enemy with their beard and stun them for 5 seconds, it's amazing. Arms Warriors are much more mobile than their Fury counterparts, but as I said, their beards are just as awesome. Don't doubt the Arms Warrior beard. It's just pure win. Although so is all Warrior beards. Arms Warriors are much more mobile. They're easy. Like with my spec of Arms, I get more points when I interrupt. I get more bonus damage by percentage. Arms Warriors have they have a lot of the same tools as Fury Warriors, but most of their utility that they do have, which isn't much, mind you, being a warrior that's not Prot, but the utility they do have is they're able to stun, and that's pretty much it. Just the beard stun is all that the Arms Warrior has, besides more controlled damage, more controlled sustained damage, more controlled burst damage than Fury. Fury is a lot more RNG, but if you can get it to work, it does pay off. Arms is a lot safer of a choice. It's much more skill and RNG based. It's a lot more controlled. You can control your damage, when it happens, how it happens, with recklessness and all that. You can pop recklessness on top of Raging Blow too to control it, and that's one of the stars aligned, but it's just a lot easier to set up Warrior Burst as Fury than it is as Arms than it is as Fury. As you see, my friend here is playing as Fury, and yeah. I also think that Arms is more mobile with how we move around. The cooldown on charge is actually getting reduced next patch, and that'll also increase our mobility. Colossus is actually getting nerfed, nerfing down all warrior damage, but it won't be too bad. Just taking off a little bit of it. We need the burst reduction. Hopefully the mobility will pay off for it. I don't think it will, but we'll have to wait and see, guys. Yes. So, remember, Arms, in my opinion, takes a little bit more skill than Fury. Fury is a lot more RNG based, leaving less room for skill, but more room for error. Arms is a lot more controlled based. You control what happens. And Arms Warriors are just
hard men doing hard shit, and that gives me a hard on. But not in a gay way or anything.
No, of course not. Yeah, it goes without saying.
Prot Warriors are some of the manliest men of all. There are so few of these manly men that it's rare to see one, and they take 30 minutes to find in a dungeon queue. These manly men charge in the front lines and keep everybody else safe behind them with their shield and their sword and board. These manly men have a lot of mobility. Their damage can be lacking though, but they are everywhere when played correctly. It is hard to keep a Prot warrior off a target. As CCing warriors go, that is. They have, as I said, more mobility than Fury and Arms, in my opinion, but they also have a lot less damage. I'm not spec'd for damage here. I'm actually spec'd for a little bit of tanking in BGs. Got the toughness, the masteries, as well as both self-healing and field dressing. It's that way I can eat some damage in PvE if I decide to go do a dungeon, or PvP if I decide to run a flag. I'm not useless. Prot warriors are able to get around very well. They have 2 stuns as opposed to the, Arms warrior 1 stun. Their shield smash, which is one of my favorite abilities, and I'm sad they took it away from all warriors, dispels a buff from the target. It's just magical. It's amazing feeling to dispel a fucking druid's innervate if you got it right, dispel a shield from a priest, dispelling divine plea from a paladin, or even any defensive. Back when I played back when I used Shield Slam in PvP and Wrath Lich King, it was an amazing feeling to take off a paladin's sacred shield and just raffle them afterwards. It's really just an amazing feeling, and I wish they gave that back to all warriors so I have something to do when I'm short and bored as Arms. But Prot warriors, again, don't do much damage. If you saw there, the rogue did most of the damage. I just kind of ate some damage and face tanked for him. And that's pretty much how Prot warrior PvP goes. It's good to go with another class that can deal high damage and just you pull aggro, face aggro, so that they think you're doing a lot of the damage, and it works pretty well. But yes, Prot warriors have 2 stuns, and it's quite nice actually. They still have the heroic leap. I'm in battle stance right now, so I'm moving around a bit better. Just peeled a warrior off of the shaman we have. Gotta go back to this stance now. Peeled him off again. I'm gonna stun him here in a second, just keeping him completely off his target, as well as peeling buffs off of him when I'm able to shield smash. Keeping hamstring on him, he can't go anywhere. Forgot to take that off my bar, but yes, they can do a little bit of damage during Colossus Smash, and if they pop shield block and then shield smash like the old days, it does give a damage increase. It's not massive, it's not magical, but it is nice to have, and I need to finish putting my fucking bars together. As I said, Prot is a lot more mobile. Fury does the most damage when RNG allows, and Arms is the most controlled of all 3, and is why it's the most commonly used PvP spec. Everything you do with Arms is controlled, it's on your terms, and getting lucky crits with that just makes it a lot more damage.
Men do not cry. Men do not pout. Men jack you in the fucking jaw and say, thanks for coming out.